chat. Got both my moderators here watching live. Supposed to have 3 guests come in tonight. We're going to wait for MJ, Moody. That's right, Luscious Locks. Did you read the shirt, though? Yeah. We got MJ, Moody, and Makisha coming in. Welcome in, everybody. We're going to get started here very shortly. I've got 3 guests scheduled to come in. Can't always guarantee that they're going to show up, though. Just a reminder that we don't do politics, and no rude comments. Moody is here already, so looks like Moody will be the first one in if he's ready to go, or she. Moody. I don't even know I haven't really found out your real name. It's all Moody. Moody, are you ready to go? Well, thank you for the heart me. I do appreciate that. Like I said, my moderators will be muting anybody who gives rude comments or does any of the stuff up here. But do encourage you to ask questions. As we see the questions, we'll get them asked. The guests should be able to see. It's all right, Moody. Take your time. The guests should be able to see the questions as you ask them, but I do prefer that myself and the guests don't look at the comments because it takes a minute for the mods to be able to clear out any rude comments. So if I don't reply right away, my wife is in the same room with me. She will let me know that there's a question. So just be patient. And I'm going to start uploading replays of the lives to my YouTube channel. So if you go to my profile, click on that YouTube link, go ahead and give me a subscribe there. If something were to happen to TikTok in January, my lives hopefully will be moving to YouTube. Until then, we're gonna continue doing them here. Waiting on Moody. Like I said, we have Moody, MJ, and Makisha scheduled to come in. And then if we have time, we'll hear your stories. I do appreciate everybody being patient as we wait for the guests to come in. Again, if you have a paranormal story, it doesn't have to be ghosts. It could be cryptids, UFOs, anything. I want to hear it. This stuff just fascinates me. And, the more people talk about it, the more we learn. And I get it. Not everybody that comes in the live is going to be a believer. They could be skeptical. And that's fine. I was a skeptic at one time. So, just be patient and stick around. You might find something that might interest you. Again, we're waiting on Moody, MJ, and Makisha to join. We'll do them in the order that they come in. Moody has arrived, asked for a few moments to get ready. But if anybody would like to tell their paranormal encounters, you can leave a comment down here and then I will message you afterwards. Or if you stick around, we can get you in after our guests, when the guests arrive. That's the problem with doing live is, I don't really want to schedule times with people because if for whatever reason they're unable to show up, then I have to fill in, half hour, 45 minutes of dead time. kind of like I'm doing now. But welcome in Copenhagen. Like I said, anybody that comments, you're probably going to get a follow from me and a message. As long as, I don't have like 10,000 different people. I do have to work tomorrow. Rumpelstiltskin, welcome in. I appreciate all the likes. Yeah, keep tapping that screen. Let's get to the For You page. Try to get some more people in here. I have Moody on hold. We'll be hearing paranormal stories. I think Moody said they have four different encounters. So, and then MJ and Makisha. Makisha says she has a lot. May end up going into having her come back on another day. But she has to work in the morning, so she wanted to come in tonight. So I really do appreciate the likes. If you do have a paranormal encounter you'd like to share, put it in the comments that you have one, and I'll message you afterwards. And like I said, depending on how long Moody is back. Moody, are you ready? There we go. There we go. We are connecting to you, Moody.
Hello.
Moody, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Just got out, woke up, hit work nights,
Oh, I work nights too.
Yeah.
So, Moody, live. I'm going to let you talk, but
Okay.
there is a lag between when you speak and when I hear it. So if I have a question, I'm going to just raise my finger as a cue to, pause for a moment and let me ask my question. Is that okay?
Roger that.
All right, buddy. Let's hear what you got.
Oh, see, I'm in the nursing business, right? And back in 90, 95 or so, I was a CNA at the time. And we worked up on the 5th floor. At this time, it was an ortho, bones, deal with bones, ortho. And I was taking this lady's blood pressure, vital signs. And they had dividers, the little screen that you pull the curtain to divide the patients between each other. And we're on the 5th floor now. And there's a light that filled up on the curtain, and it looked like a ball bouncing right from the wall out to the side. And right after that ball went by, it looked like a little child ran by. And the patient I was getting the vitals from, she said, "Did you see that?" I looked at her, I said, "Ma'am, I'm just here to get your vitals." Yeah, it was something crazy. We're on the 5th floor. You shouldn't be seeing no kids running with balls on the curtain, and we come to find out that used to be a pediatric unit, for kids. So I don't know, maybe the kid got hit by a car and was up there and passed away or something. But that's one of the incidents we were seeing. And I know I wasn't done because she saw it as well. The patient that I was taking care of saw it, and I didn't really want to respond to it because, I don't look stupid. But yeah, we saw something like that. And there was another time with Casper Mountain. I was with my ex-wife, and we stayed down in the cabin. And my uncle, our uncle was like, "Don't be doing nothing," because at that time we weren't married. At that time we were together about 7, 8 years. But they said, "Don't be doing nothing," if you know what I mean, down in that cabin. And we ended up doing it. But the whole day, I wasn't drinking. I was drinking like Monsters, I think I was, and I had set a bunch of cans outside on the balcony. And as we were, into it, I felt something behind me. And when I turned around, there's a guy. I mean, he had a blue, I mean, he has like a blue jumpsuit on, white t-shirt, gray hair, you know, missing some teeth, and like the horseshoe had that horseshoe baldness going on. And he opened up his mouth, and I was like, oh, and I turned back around. I felt something shoot through my shoulder and out that back door. And as soon as I felt that, I heard all those cans fall at the same time. That freaked me out. I'm like, oh man. So I went to tell my uncle, and I said, was there an old man living down there before? And they said, oh no, we don't know about it. Maybe it was somebody that's been there way before them, you know. But yeah, that spooked me there.
This is a full body apparition. And
yes,
it went through you?
Right behind me. It went
and
right.
You felt it go
felt
through
like
you?
it went through. Yeah, sure did. And it like came out my left side. You know, my shoulder or arm, left side, and I panicked. You know, but it went right. Looked like it went right to the back door.
Where is Casper now?
In Wyoming.
Oh, okay. So Casper, Wyoming. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That sort of spooked me on that one. You know, since I, started going to church, I haven't been seeing nothing like that at all, you know. And there's this another, I'm not sure if it was an apparition or whatever, but when we're in Vegas, I saw something crawling on the roof. And I don't even want to talk about that one. But anyway, yeah, that's...
Well, you got my attention, so...
Yeah. All right, fine. And it looked like it had half a head. Like that, like from the ears down, it was like flat. But everything else was rolled up like your regular face, but the hell head was flat. You know, I'm like, what is that? So I glanced up and it stopped. So I looked back down because I don't want to see me looking at him or whatever it is, be messing with me. I've been seeing them shows, And I looked up, I said, y'all see that up there? And they looked up, no, we don't see nothing. I looked back up, it was gone. I'm like, yeah, I saw something like galloping, not galloping, but like on fours, like what was that? But that was in Vegas though. And one, two, got the hospital. I know I sent you a message about that. The hospital, the Vegas, the mountain. Oh, yeah, and when I was in boot camp, after I got out of boot camp, this was in 93. I was in my top bunk. There's 4 of us in a room in the top bunk. And I think I had sleep paralysis or something like that because the whole room got black. And there's a vent at the foot of my bed. I mean, granted, the room's black now. It's dark black. And this is, something darker than the dark hand came out of that thing and grabbed on the wall like it was coming out. And as soon as I saw that, my body knotted up and I couldn't move. I was trying to yell and scream and I couldn't do anything, And when I just relaxed and let it go, it got off me. So I started complaining to my people that were in there. You didn't hear me yelling? I was mad too because I was struggling up there on that bunk. And then the next night it happened again. And the guy was like, hey, what you doing in my back, my locker? I said, I'm not in locker. I felt I was still on the bed. My ass was in his damn locker, in his clothes. I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? I remember laying in bed. I nodded up again. And then I woke up in this dude's locker. I'm like, oh, hell no. So that's when I started going to church. I'm like, no, we can't be having this. Can't be having this. So I haven't had anything happen after that. Since I've been...
First, I would say thank you for your service. Much appreciated. But there's a lot of reports of paranormal, things like that happening in military. Did you ever having encounters on the military base?
That was the only one on the base.
Okay. I just heard other stories, and I was curious if maybe you'd heard anything else.
Oh no! Didn't really want to talk about it anymore after that. That's how spooked I was.
Yeah. So this, you said like the entire room was just black and
Yeah, like you didn't turn.
out and grabbed you.
No, like say if you had a vent and it looked like it came out and grabbed the wall of the outside the vent.
Oh,
You know, like it grabbed the wall. You see that all five fingers just grabbed the wall, and it was dark in the room, but you could see it darker than than the room. And
oh,
it was
wow.
dark. You
That
know,
that is terrifying.
and I couldn't move after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I would. I don't think I would. I think I'd have ran actually. I think I'd
Mm.
have went AWOL.
Oh, or moved rooms. I
Yeah.
wanted to, but yeah. But that it only happened twice then. But other than that, I mean, I haven't seen anything after that.
Well, Moody, I really appreciate you coming and telling your stories. Those were freaking phenomenal and terrifying. One more question on the Casper Mountain. So, you saw like the entire body. It wasn't just like the upper half. Or it looked like there was an entire human standing there. Correct?
Yeah, yeah. Cause say if you're on the bed, I'm facing like say if you're on the bed, the foot of my bed, I'm facing towards the head of the bed, and I'm on my knees. You know what I'm saying? Looking. When I turned around, I could see. I mean, I can't see his feet because the bed's in the way, but I could see the whole body sitting there. You know, it
Oh,
was sitting there, and the mouth opened up like, I mean, it opened wide too, like it was you know, like oh, that's when I turned around to look away from it because it shot at me. I mean, like it jumped at me. You know how you try to block yourself, and it looked like
yeah,
it felt like it came through my back, and it came out my left shoulder out to the back porch area, and as soon, I mean, the can's been out there for a long time, okay, a long time, and right after that, and it went out that door, and and you hear all those cans knocked over. It's like that's not a coincidence, right there. That cans could have fell over a long time ago, but at that certain point, it just decided to fall over, you know.
yeah. That
So
that's
yeah, that's
that.
how I looked at it.
I don't believe in coincidences.
Nah.
Not on something.
So yeah,
That's
yeah, blue suspenders, white shirt. You know, he was an old guy. You
holy
know.
cow, dude. Those are some
Yeah.
terrifying stories. Actually, I mean, I probably would have had to change my drawers.
Oh, I didn't have none on at the time, bro. Yeah, I was. Yeah, they said not to. We did it anyway, you know. Yeah, I'm like, oh, maybe we should have done it. Hang on, buddy. Hey, I'm about to mute.
All right, man. I really appreciate you coming in. Like I said, I'm going to upload these interviews to my YouTube channel. So if
Mm-hmm.
you want to watch it again or whatever, and I appreciate that, partner.
All right,
Check out
boss.
the YouTube
Hey,
channel
shh, shh, shh.
up there in a couple days.
Roger that. All right, you have a good one now. Hey, Maddie, what's up? That's my little one. All right, I gotta go. He upset because you in my lap. You know that, right? Yeah, all
All
right,
right.
here, come here, buddy.
Later.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Holy cow. We came in hot right off the bat. Moody, that was amazing. Let me see who all's in here. MJ or Makisha, are you in here? They are scheduled to come in tonight. If not, we got Copenhagen. Copenhagen says they have a story. Let me see who all's in here. Um, I don't see my other two guests yet. So, Copenhagen, let's see if I can get you in here. Where you at, buddy? There we go. We are connecting. Copenhagen, how you doing tonight?
Good, buddy. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Where are you coming from?
Virginia.
Virginia. All
I
right.
live right
What do you
across the
have?
river from Jamestown.
Oh, okay. And Jamestown has a
I'm in the triangle area from Jamestown, Williamsburg, and Yorktown.
Yes. All right. Well, what do you got for us tonight?
Well, I've been back and forth about it in my head because I've had quite a few things happen to me, and that the gentleman before made something come up that I'd forgot about, and it was kind of crazy because it has to do with a family member that passed away, and this family member and I didn't get along very well. Well, I'll get into it now that I went ahead and started it. Um, my stepmother was really ill, and she was going to pass away, and they moved. They were living in Illinois at the time and had moved back to Virginia, where she was from. And I grew up in Ohio on a big old dairy farm, and that's where I was at the time. Well, when my dad and her moved back down here, I had decided that I wanted to get away from that farm life and factories and things like that and see what the world was about. So in the mid 90s, I come down here, and my stepmom, she had what was called spasmodic corticalis, which she had got hit in the head with a pipe, and it caused her nervous system to lock up and freeze, right? Now, I don't like to talk about bad people, the dead, things like that, because it has made some things happen, but she was a nasty person to me, and she was a nasty person to a lot of people. Well, she passes away, right? She was 34 years old. She ends up dying in her sleep on a futon in the house. My dad doesn't get rid of the futon. He leaves it there, okay? Well, one day, everybody's at school, everybody's at work. I had the day off. I'm laying on that futon. I fall asleep watching the History Channel and kind of dozed off, and I wake up to being held down. Now, I'm telling you, I was held down by my shoulders. I'm 6 foot, 300 pounds, had no problem moving things around, right? And I hear this cackle in the background. And man, when I tell you my hair's standing up right now on my neck, my arms, and all I could see above me was the ceiling fan moving, and I could hear it, but all I could hear was the woof, 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 and I'll never get it out of my mind. And hearing that cackle in the background, and man, and all of a sudden it was like a magnet gets let loose. One minute you're stuck, and the next second you're free. Bam! And I was in my underwear. And man, I'll tell you what, I was out in the middle of the street before you could blink your eyes. I was up out of that house and in the street. Well, after that occurrence happened, we had a series of occurrences that kept going on and happening that wouldn't stop in the house. I can remember my dad at the sink, but maybe a day or so after this happened. My dad's at the sink, and I happen to peek my head in to say something to him. And as I'm doing it, he goes and he flips a dish towel over his shoulder. And as he's flipping this dish towel over his shoulder, I catch a silhouette of a waist from the waist down to the feet, go from his side and shoot from his right to all the way from his right to left into our bathroom area. And it was white, like misty white. And in that area is where our laundry room and things were. So, and my wife can attest to all of this. That's crazy, man. And at night, in the evenings, we would sit at the kitchen table and we'd watch TV and chat about the day and work and however. My dad would be the one that would like to do the laundry. He was particular about his laundry. Well, he would only do socks. Like he would do his whites and things like that separate, but he would do all his socks in one load. Nothing to socks, right? There's nothing to them. So he gets his socks washed. He puts them in the dryer, and that dryer door kept kicking open. Bam! And we're like, what the heck's going on? How's a dryer door just open up? My dad goes in, he closes it, starts it back up, sits down, we take a laugh, and he goes, ha ha, it must have been Terry. That was my stepmom, right? As soon as he said that, bam, that door kicks open again. And all that was in that sucker was socks, man. That's it. Well, we kind of brushed that off. And more, just little things were happening, creaks and bangs around the house and stuff. My dad had asked my wife for a pen that he thought that she had in her hand. My wife said, no, I don't have a pen. She was cooking. She had a cooking utensil. My dad said, well, how'd you get it all over the refrigerator then? She goes, what are you talking about? How'd I get the pen all over the refrigerator? And when you look over at the refrigerator, and it looked like somebody had taken an ink pen and taken the cartridge out of it and squeezed it out, and it was in a heart. It looked like a heart, and then this heart started dripping down the refrigerator. And this ink came from nowhere. Absolutely nowhere, dude. And it was ink, real ink, and we were all sitting right there. No one touched the refrigerator. We were all right there. Well, we ended up leaving out of that house, and I didn't have anything more than that. With that, but my dad would talk about how his bed would shake and just different things, But I've got a couple more other things that's happened to me. If I don't know how long I can talk, or
Well, I want to ask a couple questions first.
sure, go ahead.
You mentioned the sound of the fan.
Yeah,
Did it sound like it was too big?
it sounded huge. It sounded like it was a helicopter. It
Okay.
sounded like it was a helicopter, like a rotor wash.
And the reason I bring this up is to a lot of these podcasts and a lot of these people telling their story. And there are a lot of people who report this fan sound.
I've never heard that before.
Yes, and they hear it in all kinds of paranormal stuff, whether it's ghosts, Bigfoot.
Well, that's what I was going to tell you. I had a thing in the woods that happened to me once, and that same sound happened.
Okay, before we get to that, I have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
With that mist that you saw run from the kitchen to the bathroom, was there any kind of definition to it, or was it
I
just
saw everything. It was a mist, but it was almost like it wasn't transparent, but it was transparent. I can't really describe it. It was almost like it was powder, but it was misty,
Okay.
but I could see the legs. I could see the legs and feet. Like I could see everything, but I could see through it too. It was really weird, man. I've never seen
Yeah.
anything solid, but not solid before. That was the first thing I've ever seen like that.
Right? That's terrifying in and of itself. I mean,
This scared me, man. And when I told my dad that, he was like, "That's crazy," because he said he was just thinking about her at the time. It was weird, man. I don't know.
so you have something that happened to you in the woods then.
Oh yeah, this happened to two of us one day. This is me and my best friend. We were in Hawking Hills, Ohio, and we were hunting, deer hunting, and we got out about 4 a.m, and we split off. And he's a good quarter mile away from me. Okay, and I get sat, and no sooner than I get sat, I start hearing this whispering. Right. To me, I just thought it was wood sound and wind, and it's dark, and it's spooky, and I'm playing, my mind's playing tricks on me type thing. But then it started to like almost make sense, but it sounded like Indian talk. But I don't know Indian talk. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know Indian talk just by watching movies and stuff, or going to like Cherokee, North Carolina, and listening to them talk before and things, but it sounded like Indian, and then it got fast and scrambly, like like that, man. And then I started getting this woof, woof, whoa, whoa. And when it would do that, man, it was rattling my body. Like it was almost like being around a 3,000 pound bull or something. But I couldn't see nothing, dude. I couldn't see anything. I didn't see, there was no sound. I didn't hear no tree break, no snapping, no, nothing was moving. But man, I was getting concussions from this whatever was whooping at me and scrambling their words or whatever it was doing, but it was talking super fast. But it was like I made out words like what or like hey, or it was weird. It was real weird, man. So after that happened, I thought I had something thrown at me, but I didn't. I couldn't see anything, man. It's just like something passed through the limbs of through the limbs of the trees. I get back to the truck, and I was scared to tell my friend about it because I didn't know. I didn't. I thought he was going to think I was nuts. So we're riding along, and nobody's saying anything, which I thought was kind of crazy at first because normally you're excited about your hunt, you talk about it, and I looked over. I said, Donnie, I said, I had something weird happen to me today in the woods, dude. He goes, I did too, man. I was like, before I say what I had to happen to me, dude, tell me what happened to you. And he goes, man, I was sitting there and I watched this guy walk up the creek bed, walk in front of me around a tree, and he never come back out from behind the tree. And he goes, but wait a minute. He goes, the craziest thing about that was he was dressed in flannel blue jeans like our grandpas looked in the early 80s hunting in the 70s and 80s. And he was pale, man. And my buddy's he's fair, he's a dark-skinned fellow, he's got Indian in his blood and stuff, but he turned white on me, man. Turned white. And that's when I told him about mine. And we never went back to that part of Hawking, and I've never been back to that part. I've never been back to that. That really scared me, dude. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Right. I would too.
I've never had anything make a sound that shook my body like that. Never.
So how much have you listened to as far as, Bigfoot encounters and things like that?
Oh, I'm interested in it. I've seen some like stuff, Expedition Bigfoot, stuff like that. But as far as knowing much about it, I don't know much about Bigfoot.
Have you ever heard the Sierra Sounds?
No.
I encourage you to, they're on YouTube. Look up the Sierra Sounds. And I do this live on Sundays and Mondays at 7 p.m. Listen to the Sierra Sounds and come back and tell me if that's what you heard.
Okay, I will. And some dude said, man, you ran into the Ohio grass man or something like that, or so, I don't know, something about some grass man or something.
That's what they call the Bigfoot in Ohio is the grass man.
Oh, well, that's what he said to me anyway. I said, I don't know what it was, but whatever it was a big fella. He was a big one. Big. Yeah.
I had some stuff happen to me in Tar Hollow. I don't know if you're
Get out of here. I used to go ride horses down Tar Hollow, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, Southern Ohio, Kentucky
you
border.
Rode horses in Tar Hollow?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I used to spend half of my childhood spent down Tar Hollow.
Dude, we may know each. How old are you?
I am 45.
Dude, we probably know each other.
This is weird, man. Because I spent a lot of time down Tar Hollow riding horses with my mom, my grandparents, and that's how I knew Hawking Hills, bro.
Dude, it's okay. We're gonna continue this conversation off my live.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Personal information.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ohio.
I'm from the Dayton area, a little bit north of Dayton, a little town.
Wait a minute.
Do you know Troy, Piqua area? No, you're not.
Dude, really?
I swear to God, bro. How would I pull that place out of my ass or off of State Route 36?
Dude, I'm messaging you after this live.
Yeah.
Dude, my last name.
Get out of here, dude. Your grandpa. Are you John?
Yes.
Dude, my mom.
Oh my God.
That's my mama.
Yes, it's John.
Up, dude. I haven't seen you since we were kids, man. How's your
Oh
sister?
my God, dude.
How's
I
your
don't normally
sister,
give out my
bro?
last name on here, but damn.
Oh my God. I haven't seen you since we were kids getting on the school
Right?
bus. Oh my God. Oh my God. What a small world this is.
Yes.
Your grandpa made the finest saddles around.
Right?
I know. He had the finest leather, made the best saddles. This is weird, bro.
Dude,
This is
I'm going to message you after
strange.
this live, all right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to do this again. That's cool, John. It's good to see you,
Yeah.
bro. Good to
Yeah.
see you. It's been a long time. Neither
Right?
one of us noticed each other.
Well, I
It just
actually I can't see your picture. I don't even
oh,
know.
let
All
me
I
see
see
if I
is
can
this
bring my
picture
camera
there.
up here.
Me.
You just have to imagine me without the beard. Let's see. How do I do it?
How many followers do you have?
Like 50 something hundred.
Oh, then you should be able to.
I
This
don't know.
isn't.
It's not. Oh, I know what it is. I'm clipped in the thing here. Now, how do I flip it? Right here.
This is freaking nuts. What are the chances?
Think with it. Well, John, it's not working for me. I can pull myself up, but I can't see you for some reason.
Oh, okay. I'm going to message
There
you
I
as soon
am.
as we're done with this live. There you go. There you are. Expand a little bit. All right. What's up, man?
You'd have to imagine me without the beard, but I've always had the fat little chunky face.
I know who you are.
Been a long time, hadn't it?
Yeah, it's been a real long time,
Our
dude.
grandparents used to hang out with each other, man.
Right. Hey, man, I'm going to message you after this. I
Yeah.
have some people waiting to come in and tell their stories.
Dude, it's been 20. I've been down here 24 years, so that tells you how long it's been since
Right.
I've been back home a few times, but yeah, mom moved away and grandma passed away and they sold the farm and everything's gone out there now.
Yeah, dude,
So,
that is
but
awesome.
I'm gonna keep up with you, dude. I'm gonna keep up because I liked what you got going on anyway. You know me, I love that. I like this stuff. So,
Yeah. Yeah, dude, this is freaking awesome about.
watch your language on here. All right, I'm gonna have to. You want me to let you get to some other people?
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna message you after my live, all right?
All right, John. Good to see you, man. Small world, brother.
Yep, we'll talk to you later.
Okay, dude. That was cool, man.
I'm trying to expand myself back out here.
I don't know how to do it.
Here we
I've
go.
known that man for 20
Gotcha.
something. I've known that man since I was a child.
All right, man, I'll talk to you later.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was already gone. Crap.
That's all right.
I don't know
Oh, you talk about a small world, man. Here I am. I'm in Indiana. He's in Virginia, and find out we're talking to each other, and we actually grew up together. Oh, wow. All right. Who else I've probably missed a couple of my guests, and I feel so bad about that. Chad, hang on just a second. I had a couple guests scheduled here. I want to make sure they're not in here, but we're going to get you in. Mr. Brozier, how are you tonight?
What's up, dude?
Would you like to tell your encounter?
Oh boy. Which one you want me to tell? One you ain't heard or the one you've heard?
My other guests aren't in here, so you can tell as many as you want.
All right. Well, I'll tell you my most recent that you've never heard.
Okay.
All right. This happened about 2 years ago. This was about 2 years ago. And I was hunting a property that, in fact, I hunted it tonight. And I was sitting in my tree stand, and I dropped. This one's gonna throw you for a willy. I dropped my. I had a sock hat on, and I dropped my sock hat to the bottom of my tree stand. Well, I just left it lay there, and the evening come in there, and I had about 15 deer I watched come across the road, and they come all the way to me. They come about a mile all the way to me, and I shot a doe, and she ran over onto this little property where I'm really not. Oh, I can't hunt it, but she ran over there. So I give them time, let them clear out. I get down, and I'm looking for my sock hat. You hear that growling in the background? Oh,
Now I do.
Whoa. Anyway, that's not a Sasquatch. That's just my lab. Anyway, I get down to get this sock hat, and this tree stand is setting on the edge of a creek. This big creek, and it usually holds just a little bit of water, but if it rains a lot, it'll hold 5-6 feet of water. And I'm looking for my hat, and I'm looking down in this stump. There's like these old stumps and stuff and holes in the bottom of these trees. I see a light coming out of the bottom of this tree. A green light shining out of the bottom of this tree. And I don't even have my phone, like a flashlight on, nothing. And I'm like, what in this world? And so at that point, I turned my flashlight on to find my hat. And then my hat was actually laying down in the creek, like down, and it's kind of a steep bank. I'm like, man, that's the only sock hat I got. So I shimmied down in there and grabbed my hat. And I'm looking at that. I shut my light back off, and there is a green light. This is in like November, late November. There is no lightning bugs left in late November. We don't have other things that glow in late November. And out of this hole about the size of a tennis ball, there's a green light coming out of this thing. And I'm looking in there, and I wipe my eyes and look again, and I'm like, what in this world is going on? So it kind of freaked me out, but I got this deer shot out here, and I ain't got time to mess with it. I go and I find this deer, and it's kind of where it ain't supposed to be and where I ain't supposed to be. So I'm trying to get it out of there in a hurry. And I called my boy, and he come out once I found it. And I said, we're going to have to leave our lights off because I don't want to cause a ruckus. I just want to drag this deer out of this property and get it to where we're allowed to be. And we grabbed a hold of that thing, and we started dragging it out the easiest, fastest way out of there. And it was probably about a half-mile drag to get to where we were going. Maybe probably a third of a mile, not a half mile, probably a third of a mile. I don't want to exaggerate. And as we're dragging this deer out of there, my boy said, "What's that? What's that light up there?" And I said, "Hang on a second. Let's just stop and watch." And I see this light. It's a red light, and it's just moving all around down at the end of where we're going. Now, nobody else is there. It's just he and I. And the first thing that come to my head, back in the day when we coon hunted before we had GPS trackers and things, we had what was called Saturn collars. They were called Saturn, and they were like a neon wraparound light that would go around your dog's neck. And I thought, well, man, there's an old timer out here coon hunting or something. He's got a Saturn collar on his dog. Well, I said, it'll be all right. Let's just go. We start dragging that thing. We get a little closer. I see that light again. And it's just floating around down there. And I'm like, dude, that ain't no dog. That's up in the air. That sucker is up in the air. And I watch this red light bounce around. And it's, I don't know. I really can't put a reference on how big it was because it was far away. And I watch this red light, but it was, not far away, but probably, I don't know, 300 yards away from us, 200 yards away from us. And we watched this red light. And by this time, we're getting close to the end down there. And I'm getting about half nervous. I'm like, oh, man, I wonder if it's a neighbor. He's mad. I don't know. And I watch that light, that red light, go right up in the air, go up in the treetops, poof, gone. Disappeared. And this was obviously quite a bit after the first experience that I'd had while I actually was coon hunting, but that was the first time and only time I'd ever seen an orb, and I don't know what that was in that tree, but I kind of feel like they were connected. I had seen one other time.
Right?
What's that?
The first light was green.
It was like the color of a lightning bug green.
Yeah, and it's too cold to be firefox fungus or anything like that, because that stuff only comes out at very specific times, and you can only see it during the night. So yeah, that is weird.
Yep, that was a doozy.
Yeah, a lot of people report those. You listen to the same shows I do. A lot of people report those orbs out there.
Yeah, so that's my orb story, man.
Yeah, I like that. So let's tell everybody your encounter.
My encounter. All right, this would have been about 20 years ago, in the early 2000s. And I was a young man, and I used to do. I'm an old man now, but I used to do a lot of coon hunting, and it was early September. The corn hadn't even begun to turn, to where it was ready to harvest. It was still very green. And what we'd like to do when that tall corn is we'd like to flip our dogs out, because when it gets that time of year, them kitten coons are getting big enough to where they're out and away from mama, and the cornfields are just full of them. So you take your coon hound and flip it, let your dog loose down them rows, and hopefully they run up on one of those little coons and tree it. And that's just a good way to train your dogs. So we were out in this cornfield and flipped our dog, and there was two dogs running, and all of a sudden, like, they opened up, like they'll give a big howl to locate, and they located, and then they just shut up, and I heard a couple whimpers, just a yip yip and a couple whimpers, and like the dogs that we kept, they don't run trash. When I say they don't run trash, that means that they just run on game. They just run the coons. We don't keep dogs that run possums or groundhogs or deer or will fall off on a rabbit or something. We just keep good dogs. And so this sucker he just started yipping around. And I looked at the guy I was with. I said, dude, you think a coyote's got after them or something? He said, man, I don't know. Just be quiet a minute. Now, we did not have GPS trackers, but we had the old trackers called beep beep trackers. They were made by a company called Wildlife, and it would send out a radio frequency, and you could track a dog 5 or 6 miles pretty easy. These dogs weren't even a mile in there. And we could not get a radio signal on these dogs. we couldn't pick up a single radio signal anywhere. Not in front of us, not behind us, not to the north, to south. We couldn't pick anything up. And all of a sudden, I hear corn. I could see the corn tops moving around us, and I heard something breathing very heavy. And I looked at the guy I was with. I said, "Dude, do you hear that?" He said, "Just be quiet and listen a minute." I said, "Is that them dogs?" And whatever was out there started doing circles around us. And you could hear heavy, raspy breathing, very heavy, raspy breathing. In the circles, you could see the tops of the tassels just moving about 10 to 15 yards out from us, and just see it going in a circle. I'm going, what in this world? Now, we're not standing in close to any trees. We're 150 yards in this cornfield from the road. We're just standing in this cornfield about a row apart. And we're standing there, and John's just like, just be quiet, listen. And all of a sudden, out of the sky, come out of the air, he gets hit in the side. Now, when you go coon hunting, back in the old days, you wore a hard hat, and you had a light on your hard hat, and on your belt, you would have your battery pack. And because of the time of year it was, and the time of night it was, that corn was pretty wet with moisture just from dew. So we had like these light vinyl jackets on and frog legs, which they're rubber boots with legs sewed in them, and you pull them up, and that way if you got to cross a creek or something, you're good to go. And out of the sky, hit him on the side of the head, on his helmet and on his jacket. It was this clear liquid slime come out of the sky, smacked this guy. I heard a bloop. I said, "John, what was that?" And I look over, and he's got goo coming down the side of his head. I said, "John, what is that?" He said, "I don't know." I said, "John, what's all over your head, man?" He said, "Let's go to the truck." And we turned around and started walking to the truck, and no sign of the dogs. Now, these dogs, this is 25 years ago, and these are $2,000 hounds each. He said, "We'll come back for them dogs. Let's get out of here." We got back to them trucks, and the dogs were curled up in the wheel wells of the truck. We had to peel them dogs out of the wheel well of the truck, and they would not load up. Normally, all you do is drop the tailgate, and them coonhounds, they'll just load up. You just say, "Load up," boom, they jump in the box. They wouldn't load up. They was shaking like I ain't never seen a coon dog shake, and picked him up and throwed him. We had to throw him in the box because they would not load up. We had to pull them out from underneath the truck. We got in the truck. There was the foulest smell that you could ever imagine. I looked at the boy and said, "Man, what is that? Is that you? Is that stuff? What is that on your jacket?" He took the jacket off and put it in the back of his extended cab, and it stunk so bad. He started driving off. It stunk so bad, we got about a mile down the road. He had to stop and take that jacket out of the truck and put it in the back of the truck and shove it in the top of his dog box because it stunk so bad. That's my story. Whatever it was breathing heavy. I don't know how the stuff fell from the sky, but it was the oddest thing ever. And just to give a little backstory, where this happened, I didn't share this on the other podcast that I was on. Where this happened, right across the road from it, is a man that has a high fence area, and he raises animals for hunting preserves. He raises fallow deer, he raises red stag, elk, buffalo, all sorts of different animals. And then they trailer them and take them to different high fence farms that the people come in and hunt high fence. During this time, and I didn't even remember this till afterwards, during this time, this guy was having trouble keeping his animals in because something was tearing through his high fence. and ripping big holes in his high fence. And the animals would escape. The fallow deer would get out. The animals would escape. The fallow deer would get out. The buffalo in. But I find that very very, very odd that all that was happening at the same time. Uh-oh, I lost him.
Okay. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. I lost you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I came off my Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay.
I apologize to everybody on that. I thought I lost you for a moment, but it was me.
I lost you.
The last
So where
thing
did
I
I-
heard was about the guy raising the animals.
Okay. Yeah, so this guy raised the animals for like hunting preserves, and he had fallow deer, red stag, elk, buffalo. And during that time period, this dude, it was right in that time, he kept having something rip his fences open, and the animals were getting out, and he would find a dead one once in a while up in his pen. Wow. And the neighbor guy, so that guy raised the animals. There was a neighbor guy there that raised ducks. He would he was a Cambodian guy, and he raised these ducks for I don't know, they for the eggs and different things. And he had a big greenhouse full of ducks, and he had all these trees, these special trees that he had planted in the back. I can't tell you what kind they were, but they were some kind of special tree, and they were very expensive. Well, during this time when these animals, that something was tearing these fences down, all these trees he planted back there, they all got tore down. They were like snapped off.
Oh, wow.
These two were in a feud because this guy was saying, well, all these are animals getting out, they're tearing my trees up. But they were like, trees about 3-4 inches around, and here they are snapped off. Although I just wonder if there was some sort of, I've always wondered if there was some sort of correlation there between the two, all those things happening around that time.
Right. Chad, do you want to tell everybody where this happened?
If I told it, yeah, I could tell people where it happened. They're going to think I'm crazy.
It's up to you.
Mercer County, Ohio.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
For those who don't know, I actually work with Chad, so I have heard this story before. But yeah, that is insane. I'm going to bring this up. Well, first I got a question. Did the dogs have the collars when they got back to the truck?
Yep. Fully functioning.
Oh, wow.
Yep. The batteries were not dead, but we were not getting a signal.
Wow.
And those are like the most trustworthy old collars. There's a lot of old timers that still use those because they're like foolproof. You don't have to have a cell phone signal for them. They're like a CB radio signal. And you just like point, and it's like beep, 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 beep. And you kind of get a line on where your dog is at. And they totally failed. They just quit working.
So I'm going to bring this next little thing up. And I know that other people have brought this up to you. In a lot of encounters that you hear, I shouldn't say a lot. I've heard of encounters with Sasquatch where they're so worked up that they have an erection.
Yeah, I didn't see him. I don't know nothing about that. But
I know. But what was the consistency of this slime is what I'm getting
at. Listen, here's what it was. It was like the jelly in Vienna sausages.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. I know other people have asked that question.
It was like listen, and it was foul. It was foul. And I don't know how. I mean, dude, this stuff came out of the sky. It straight up
Right.
come out. I mean, there's no trees around. There ain't nothing but stars and corn tassels above our head.
Well, maybe it was the jelly out of Vienna sausage, and you guys just interrupted his snack.
Could be, man. Could be. But whatever it was, it came flying from the sky, boy.
Right. All right, Chad. Well, I appreciate you coming in and telling your story. I was hoping you would at some point.
Yeah, boy. Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, I believe you, buddy.
All right, man. We'll
Hey,
see
I'll
you.
see you tomorrow. All right. And we've had some heaters tonight. I like it. I like it. You like that shirt? I know it's backwards, but it says not tonight, ladies. I'm just here to get drunk. Yeah, I know. And back then, he probably would have just been laughed at just because you're talking 20 years ago. I think he said at least 20 years ago. And, they'd have just been laughed at. Let me see if any of my other guests that were scheduled are in here. We have. They're not in here at the moment. Let me see if I can find them real quick. I don't even see them online here. Okay. That's all right. That's all right. Maybe they'll filter back in. We're waiting on MJ and Makisha. They both said they wanted to come in tonight. And that's the reason why I try not to actually, I don't really want to schedule anybody, because if I do and then they don't show up and then I have somebody else scheduled for a half hour later, I'm going to have to fill all this time in. And so, but man, we've had some really, really good stories tonight. Does anybody else? We've got 10 people watching. Anybody else have any paranormal, Bigfoot? We've had Bigfoot. We've had ghosts. Some kind of demon coming out of the ceiling. I love this stuff. I love it. Cliff's Liquor Store. Man, do you make deliveries? I could use one tonight. Welcome in, everybody. If you're new to my lives, we do paranormal stories. If you've got a paranormal story you'd like to tell, leave a comment down here, and my beautiful assistant, who's right across from me, will write on the whiteboard that somebody wants to tell their story. Because I try not to read all the comments, especially when I have a guest in. So if I missed your comments, I'm not being rude. I'm not trying to be rude. I kind of want to engage with my guest. If I'm sitting here reading comments that I don't want to come off as I'm uninterested. So yeah, that's how we do it here. And again, I'm going to start uploading my lives. I have them downloaded on my phone right now. I'm just going to start uploading all of these straight to YouTube. And when I do, I will post a video on here letting everybody know that they're available on YouTube. So if you've been a guest and you'd like to hear yourself, or if you missed one of the lives, you can come in and watch the whole thing. I appreciate the rose there, Copenhagen. That blows my mind, dude. Just blows my mind that we grew up together and you start talking about Hocking Hills, and I'm like, that's insane. It is insane. And like I said, I normally don't even say my last name on here, just for the fact that I don't want people tracking me. But there's a lot of people that do know who I am. But I kind of like my privacy a little bit. especially with some of the content that I make. You know, I have, you know, it blows my mind. I've said blows my mind like 47 times tonight, and that blows my mind. I get people that they see my content and they get upset by it. You know, they can't take a joke. I block them, but if they know who I am, you know, I just don't want that. Very few people on TikTok that I meet on TikTok do I invite to my Facebook page and stuff like that. So if you're on my Facebook, you're privileged. That's right. Man, this has been a really good live. They're getting better every time too. Tomorrow, I have Rose coming in. That's right. Catherine and Laura are both special. Tomorrow, I have Rose coming in, and she is from the Philippines. So English is not her first language. And she's very nervous about coming in and telling her story. I think that's the first time I've got the hat and mustache. There it is. That's the first time I've gotten one of them. Thank you, Copenhagen. I forgot what I was saying. I was so excited about the cowboy hat. But anyway, Rose is coming in to tell a story about a cryptid that I looked this thing up, and it sounds terrifying. I mean, it is something out of Grimm's fairy tales, you know, just something that's never heard of, called the tick tick. And I'm going to let her tell the story, but I encourage everybody to come in tomorrow and be patient with her. She's very nervous about telling her story. Apparently I'm nervous too, because I'm parched. Not really. I am parched, but I'm not nervous. But I did convince her. She tried sending me an email and using Google Translate, and it didn't work. She said it was worse than if she just tried to tell me the story. So she's going to come in tomorrow and talk about the tick tick. Ooh, thank you, Laura. She also has another one, a capre. I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure. I looked these things up. The capre kind of sounds like a hat on top of a hat. All right. It sounds just kind of like the Green Man. I don't know if anybody is familiar with the Green Man. Basically, just a guardian of the woods. But she saw this thing looking in her window. So we're going to have her in tomorrow. I'm supposed to have MJ and Makisha in tonight. I think MJ came in while we were in the middle of another guest. So I'm not sure if she just wasn't able to stay or what's going on here. Let me see who all's in here again. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. Nope, I'm not seeing either one of them in here. So, anybody in here have a story they'd like to share? I was planning on going till about 9 tonight. I can tell my story, but I kind of get tired of telling it. With dolphin. Honey, I'm getting a dolphin.
Woohoo.
Have you ever seen a dolphin?
Like on here?
I don't know.
This one.
Well, I mean, we saw one in Florida. Saw a couple of them in Florida. Ooh, and a tiny diny. Tiny diny. That was my nickname in high school. Tiny diny. I'm almost there. if you've been watching, what is that? Let them cook. I haven't seen one of them before. I appreciate all the gifts, guys. You know, I really appreciate just people watching. You know, there's my heart me from Laura. Thank you. Thank you for joining my team. Appreciate that. And like I said, I do these every Sunday and Monday at 7 p.m. I also do comedy. I laugh at it. You may not find any humor in it, but I do. And some, ooh, hard hands. Thank you. I do comedy. This is just my other passion, along with 47 other hobbies that I have, including I've got a book that I need to finish. I've finished it, but I need to go back and rewrite it. I've got a tabletop laser. I make my wife earrings. Yeah, I know. It's manly. You're a real man if you can make earrings. And that's me. Rumpelstiltskin, are you in here? Said, no, we're not doing battles. I'm looking here. My connection is horrible tonight. There we go. It's taking forever for stuff to load. I don't see Rumpelstiltskin back in here. Tyler, you've been in here a while. You have a paranormal story you'd like to share? Or you just like looking at my face? I get it. You know, sometimes I look in the mirror for hours. You know, my boss gets mad at me. You got to do some work. Not really. I'm a hard worker. Ask anybody I work with. They'll tell you. You know, I'm just moving at lightning speed. Well, maybe not. Like maybe if lightning was made of molasses. Yeah. Yeah, so y'all heard, if you've been in here a while, I grew up in Ohio in a small town. My grandfather did repair and build saddles. I grew up on a horse farm. Spent my summers in Tar Hollow and Hocking Hills, Ohio, horseback riding and camping. And that dude, when you came in and started saying that you grew up in my hometown and like just around my age, and you start talking about places, and I'm like, what? I really thought this is somebody figured out who I am, did a little bit of research, and just messing with me. That is wild, dude. That is freaking wild. But ooh, I need sunglasses. I would I was going to wear my sunglasses during my lives, but I use a ring light. So when I do my promo ones, you see I have my head down a little bit. That's to block the ring light from reflecting in my sunglasses. But I didn't want that big circle in my sunglasses the entire time. But so Copenhagen. When we were camping down, oh, another one. Heck yeah. Thank you, Laura. When we were down at Tar Hollow, and at this time, I didn't believe in Bigfoot. I mean, you remember my grandpa, he was pretty no nonsense, you know, unless he had a little bit of wine or, you know, a few trail pops. So you didn't screw around, you know. I heard the Ohio howl, and that's another thing, Copenhagen. You need to look up the Ohio howl. And you remember how far Londonderry is from the horseman's camp. it's a pretty good distance, and that's really the closest town. But in the middle of the night, I heard what sounded like a tornado siren, but not quite. I would try to attempt to make the sound, but I'm not. I'm not. But if you look up the Ohio Howl, there's several recordings of it. I heard that about 2 o'clock in the morning one night when I was sleeping in a horse trailer. You ever sleep in a horse trailer when you were down there in Tar Hollow? Oh, dude, Salt Creek ride was freaking phenomenal. Especially when the water was up a little bit and you could swim your horses. And then you go over to, what was the name of that? Jimbo's or something like that. And they had the best ham and cheese sandwiches on the planet. And I remember their jukebox was 10 cents per song. We're going way back in the way back machine right now, reminiscing. I'm still looking for people who have paranormal encounters, though. I was kind of hoping MJ and Makisha would come back in. Yeah, that Salt Creek ride, man. That was a long ride, but it was fun. I mean, a lot of times we'd take that Salt Creek ride. That'd be like 10 hours round trip, especially with all the beer breaks. But that was a fun time. Laura, it's a blast. Now that I'm older, I don't know if my knees and my hips could handle it anymore, especially, well, I'm losing weight, but at my size, I think I would struggle with it. We rode Tennessee Walkers, and you ain't gonna break that horse's back. We rode Tennessee Walkers, and if you don't know anything about horses, they're the ones. They were bred for the plantation owners back in the day, so they could ride all day and not bounce all day long. So their gait's super smooth. It's like sitting in a rocking chair. And so we'd ride 10, 12 hours a day and get up and do it again the next day. So much fun. So much fun. But yeah, I heard the Ohio Howl one night. Copenhagen, you remember where Rattlesnake Ridge is down there? Because we had something weird happen there. Locust Ridge Trail going down toward, or not Locust Ridge, what was that called? Butcher Holler. We were down Butcher Holler, and I came back to camp with somebody and had another strange encounter there. That same smell. Terrence, how you doing, buddy? Who do you think you are? BM Lingo. Oh, it's Betsy. Betsy's back. Look who's back. Betsy's back. Back again. Still looking for anybody else who has a paranormal encounter. Again, I will be uploading all my lives to YouTube over the next couple days. We got like 4 or 5 of them now. Something like that. Yeah, Betsy, we got everybody from the hometown here. Yeah. You guys are probably about the same age. Yeah. Travis, how you doing, buddy? Got a paranormal story you'd like to tell? If we don't get much more traction in here, I might shut this down early. I'm not gonna lie, I gotta use the bathroom. I sit here for up to 2 or 3 hours, and luckily I have a strong bladder. What do you guys think? Think we should shut her down or wait a few more minutes? I'm basically talking to my mods. Laura, Becca, you're in the same damn room. You can just tell me. You ain't got to type it.
I'm not typing anything.
Oh. AK-47, how are you doing tonight? You have a paranormal story you'd like to share? Yeah. Moody, you got more you want to talk about? We can put you back in the box. It'd be fine. Well, that's all right. I appreciate you coming in tonight. I think I'm like 100% sure. I know I'm following you. I'm sure we're following each other. That's all right, Moody. Like I said, those stories you told were freaking terrifying, dude. That's kind of stuff I like. Stuff you don't hear every day, Copenhagen had some good stories. We had Chad in here talking about his she's more than a secretary, okay? She's sleeping her way to the top. One of these days, I'm going to get her to snort, and you guys are going to hear it. I can't wait till it happens. And when I do, it's all going to be recorded. And I'm going to play it over and over and over again. All right, guys. I think we've lost traction a little bit here. Put it in the intro. Yeah, I could do that. I like Moody. No, she's not under the desk at the moment. We're getting off the tracks really, really quick here, and I didn't put parental controls on this live, so we probably ought to clean it up a little bit, guys. I know. I got my cougars in here, and they see the mullet, and gets them turned on. I get it. Story of my life. All right, guys. I think we're gonna shut this down for tonight. AK-47, come back in tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I know I have at least one guest scheduled. I had 3 tonight scheduled. 2 didn't show up, so maybe they'll come in tomorrow. Moody, please come back. Make sure when you come in tomorrow, share out the live. We're gaining a little bit of traction here, and I'd like to keep it going. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube, because if TikTok goes away, that's where all this is going to happen from now on. And I need a few more followers to be able to go live on YouTube. So you're in Pennsylvania now? Thank you so much, AK-47. Copenhagen, I'll message you here in just a few minutes after I wrap this thing up and go to the bathroom. And I got to give my wife a raise. Doing a wonderful job right now. Yeah. It's going to happen. I hope I have like 100 people in my live when she snorts on camera, because all right, guys, have a good night. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Gotta go.